Hello, my name is Mike Johnson. I'm taking you on an inside and outside video full tour of this 2018 Thor Aria 3401 diesel motorhome. So this one, we're going to cover it in detail. First, I'm going to show you the specifications of this motorhome from the manufacturer's brochure, and then as we go around to the other side, I'm going to explain. So this video is kind of long, so if you want to fast forward you can, but if you watch the whole thing, I'm going to make you an expert on this motorhome and some other motorhome facts. So there's a triple slide motorhome. Now that we're looking at it from the right direction, I'm going to show you an image of the floor plan so you can visualize the floor plan inside. It has 3 slide outs. It's a diesel, but motorhomes, if you're not an expert, you can be a little confused what the differences are. So I'm going to start with the model. This is a Thor Motor Coach Aria. Now they also make, Thor Motor Coach also makes a Palazzo. Now the Palazzo has been around for a while. The Aria is a newer model, and you might think, well, they look pretty similar, but they're not. The Aria is a heavier duty version. So this, when you look at the weight rating, has a 32,400 pound gross vehicle weight rating. Plus it can tow a 10,000 pound trailer, which means you can pull about 42,000 pounds of weight with this motorhome. 3 slide outs. Now, not all slide outs are created equal. These are extra deep slide outs. They're full extending deep slide outs. So when you open them up, they open up big. And some of the slide outs, most of the slide outs on this motorhome have the 3-track system. Notice you have a second set of tracks on the top and a single track on the bottom. If they don't have the triple track system, they can't support as much weight. And so that with a 3-track system, this slide out can handle carrying a lot of weight on it, which is good. The full wall slide out, which is this one, also has the 3-track system on it. And this is the nicer dark anodized tracks. The cheaper motorhomes just have a bare aluminum, and they're a little bit more vulnerable to the elements. Now, as we're showing you the outside, eventually we're going to get to the inside, but I'm going to start in order, show you the outside. Now, it rained last night, so this thing got rained on. I had it all ready for a video. We have a giant TV outside, much bigger than your normal, you know, it's not a 32. This is like a 40-inch exterior TV with a sound bar. Has a sound bar mounted underneath, so if you want to watch TV, and you can also connect your smartphones to the sound bar, so it's a full indoor-outdoor sound system. It's a lot simpler than having like an outside stereo. It does have stereo capabilities, but you know, most people use their smartphone for their source of music these days, and this is very modern. And of course it locks. We've got giant full pass-through storage compartments with a slide-out tray. A slide-out tray opens up like so. I have a ladder up here so I could wipe down some of the water. You got some extra tiles if you ever damage the tile floor inside, because it does have tile floor. You have some extra spare tiles for the flooring inside if that ever became an issue. We put a brand new whole RV water filter on it. I didn't like the one they had, so we changed it. So that's called a slide out tray. And notice this is a big, deep storage compartment, like a bus. It's not a bus, but it's like a bus. And it's on the Freightliner chassis. You got a 100-gallon water tank here, so you could bring a lot of fresh water with you for extended camping and showers. 2 sets of starting batteries here. right side is your starting batteries. And while I'm showing you about motorhomes in this video, this is a master switch for your engine starting batteries. So if you're going to store it, you can flip the switch and disconnect your batteries. And back here is your electrical room. You have this giant inverter charger, so you have power on your outlets when you're camped. And this is a really nice setup. And you have a solar charger up on the roof, a big solar panel. We'll get to the roof later, but there's a giant solar panel up there. So when you're parked dry camping, that solar panel will constantly be charging up your batteries. So it's built real nice here. You've got all your equipment. Then like your engine power steering is in the rear compartment. I'm going to talk about inverter chargers. This also has a big 8,000 watt generator, diesel generator. Inverter charging means we're parked in the middle of a cul-de-sac. Okay, we have no exterior power, yet without running the generator, you can have 110 volt power. So if you want to turn on a vacuum cleaner or a coffee maker or a television, everything will work just like it does at home, plugging in the wall outlets because of that inverter system. And with the inverter on, you're getting 110 volt power. Things like the refrigerator as well. So that solar panel on the roof charges the RV house batteries, which are over here. These are your house batteries. You have 4 of them. Most RVs have 1 or 2 house batteries, but you've got a total of 6 batteries on this RV, so you can dry camp if you want to for extended periods of time. Now I'm including a heated hose. This is like a $100 water hose. You plug it in and your hose won't freeze at night. It has an internal heater in it. All these hookups are included that you see here. It has an automatic transfer switch, so if you do go to a campground, you can plug in and then you have 110 volts. Or you can run your generator in a parking lot or in the middle of the boondocks and have 110 volts. Or you don't need to run all that stuff and you don't need to plug in and you still have 110 volts because of that inverter. But when you are plugged in, it's charging your batteries for you. Now this is a diesel engine. This is a clean diesel. Some of the older diesels are not so clean. This is good for the environment, and it has diesel exhaust fluid, which if you go to buy diesel fuel, sometimes there's a second pump and you can top off your DEF tank, diesel exhaust fluid, DEF. You need to make sure that you always have DEF on board. And the way that works, when you turn off the diesel engine, a little pump pumps DEF fluid into your exhausts. There's a filter in there and it pumps the DEF fluid into the exhaust. So next time you run the engine, it burns off the soot and stuff like that instead of polluting it into the environment. So all the diesel engines sold in the US since 2007 approximately have started to include DEF. And on some of the states like California, some engines are not even allowed to be registered anymore if they don't have it. You know, you have some Dodge pickup trucks that you can no longer register in California because they don't have the DEF fluid in them. You've got your hookup center here. So you've got your black tank for your sewage and your gray tank for your fresh water. Now people have questions about the black and the gray tank. Black is your sewer, gray is fresh. When you go to the campground, you have a sewer hose. You hook it up. You don't need to get dirty. You don't need to wear gloves. You can. It screws out through the bottom and hooks up to a drain at the campsite or at a dump station. And the first thing you do when you go to dump, you pull the black handle and dump the black tank completely, but don't open the gray tank yet. Then after the black tank is done dumping, you pull the gray handle and then the fresh water will rinse out your hose, especially if you've been taking showers and stuff and the gray tank is full of soapy water, that'll rinse out the hose nicely so it won't have any leftover deposits. Then you close the gray tank. Now, if you're going to be camped for a long period of time, you can leave the gray tank valve open, but you always want to leave the black tank closed when you're hooked up at a full hookup campground. The reason is, if you leave the black tank open, two bad things can happen. Well, three actually. The first bad thing that can happen is sewer gases from the campground can back up into your black tank and make it stinky. That could happen. It doesn't always happen, but some campgrounds it does. The second thing is, if you leave the black tank open when you're full hookups, is all the liquids in the toilet area will flow out nicely, but the solids that you deposit, like toilet paper or nastier stuff, will pile up into a mountain of doom. And if you don't have the liquids in there, when you try to dump your black tank, there's nothing to flush it all out. So you always want to keep the black handle closed at the RV park. Now, if you forget and you make a mistake, it has a sewer tank flush, which is basically a sprinkler in the black tank. So you can hook up a garden hose right here and turn that water on, and that sprinkler will fill that black tank up with liquid until all your mountain of doom becomes a little bit buoyant, and then it can pull the handle and it'll all flush out. Now, when you're camping, if you have your gray tank open on the last night before you disconnect, close the gray valve, make sure the black's still closed, and take your showers and stuff. So you fill up the gray tank with soapy water, warm soapy water, then you dump the black, dump the gray, and everything is empty. You can also have valves here which you can winterize your coach. That's a separate video that you can look up online. I put a brand new fitting on here so the hose fitting won't leak. You have an outside shower, you have your low point drains, and you also have a water pump on and off switch, so you can turn your water pump on and off from right here. And this is the brand new water filter that we put in. It's a GE water filter, so you can get a new filter element at Home Depot if you need it. And up over this area there is a work light that you can turn on from the entry door area. So when you're out at night hooking up, you've got a lot of lights on this coach. There's LED light in the compartment as well. You can turn on the compartment lights and your work light, and you'll have area lighting, making it easy to hook up if you arrive to your campground after dark. Now, I showed you on the other side the full pass-through slide tray, which also you can open from this side, and it slides out to the left or to the right. And you can latch the blue latches and it'll stay in its position, in the center position. As we go forward, there's one more compartment here. That's your propane tank. It's a very large propane tank. Now, believe it or not, you don't use propane on this RV for cooking. That propane is only for heating. And you could hook up an outside barbecue to a fitting, but you don't use it on the cooktop or the oven. It has convection, high performance, nice stuff. Right here's your hydraulic leveling jacks, your computer, your hood release. There's a release right here. You can pull the handle to open the hood. And then the hood has a safety latch on the front. So as I reach forward here, I can release the safety latch, and the engine compartment hood opens up, and we can see the 8,000 watt generator in there. Now, the generator says it only has 44.9 hours on the hour meter on the generator. So that's pretty much nothing. Looks like brand new, the generator. And it is an 8,000 watt Onan Cummins engine generator. And you also have nice air horns in here. They're in there somewhere. This coach has this big train horn. air horns. So there's actually a driver's control switch between car horn and air horn. So if you want to be like honk honk or beep beep, you have this driver's selector switch. So you won't cause anybody a heart attack if you put it on the little horn. But when you're up on the open road, switch it to air horns and people can hear you coming when they do the stupid driving that they do. Now this has daytime running lights. These are high performance, awesome looking daytime running lights that glow really nicely. They're on right now, but we're in direct sunlight, so I'm not sure how well you can see those. Up over the entry door, it has its own awning and LED light strip, and then the main awning has its LED light strip as well. So when you're open up at the campground, it's very impressive. While we're showing you the outside, you've got these frameless dual pane windows. So these are the clean frameless windows. You don't see ugly frames and seals. You just have a clean piece of glass there. And you also have dual pane glass. That means there's two insulated panes of glass there, so that reduces the amount of noise and thermal losses inside the coach. Speaking of thermal losses, this coach has much thicker walls. If you look at the thickness of the walls of coaches, I think this one has 3-inch walls, because some RVs only have 1.5 inch thick insulation on the walls. That's pretty small, but 3-inch, much thicker. You can verify that, but it's nice thick insulation. Now as we go around, the diesel engine's running right now. We have a big chrome exhaust heat shield. The exhaust is actually underneath here, so even if it gets rusty, you just wipe off your exhaust chrome shield so if you touch it, you won't get burned under most conditions. You got your 10,000 pound trailer hitch, your 7-pin connector. You've got easy access to check your fluids. Your transmission and your engine oil are right here. Your coolant, you can visually check it right here. It's easy to add oil if it's low, and you can even check your air filter to make sure it has a gauge as it gets close to the point where it's time to change. This yellow tab will get sucked towards change, and then if it's time to change the air filter, you can see visually just by looking in. It's a very nice setup. Now, we talked about this a little bit ago. This has got the heavier duty chassis. It's much stronger than the Palazzo, but also has the higher performance engine, and it has the better transmission than the Palazzo. So if you look at, you put the Palazzo right next to a Thor Aria. With the Aria, you're getting a better transmission, you're getting a bigger, more powerful engine. Well, it's actually the same size engine, but it's a higher horsepower rating. Turbo and everything, it's much stronger. So 360 horsepower, 6-cylinder diesel, the Cummins XCR engine. Now up on the back, you've got a backup camera up there. And see those two big white lights next to the backup camera? There's a little switch next to the driver's control. Those are your work lights that you can turn on to make it easy to back up. Or if somebody's blinding with your high beams, you could flash those at them. But they're not that bright to opposing traffic, so I don't think you'll get a ticket for using those. It's a pretty nice setup. Back here you have your 10-gallon water heater tank. Now some of the motorhomes have a tankless water heater and they're okay, but this has a dual heating element, a quick recovery 10-gallon water heater, so you can take nice long hot showers. Now I bought this motorhome in Florida, and I personally drove it through from Orlando, Florida up to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, through the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, and west towards California along Interstate 40, stopping by the Grand Canyon. And I camped in the Grand Canyon National Park campground right there in the village. And so I have experience with this motorhome. It did really well on the trip. We'll talk more about driving it inside when we get to the driver's seat, but it's a very nice motorhome. You've got high beams, low beams, fog lights. They're very good headlights. We were talking about the camera, but there's also a camera up here in the mirror. You've got these bus style mirrors, and you've got a camera, high mounted camera, so you get a great view of who's beside you from the camera position. I'll go over to this one. Maybe there's a little less glare from the sun reflecting. Side view camera on the, so when you turn on the turn signal, I'll show you that in a few minutes, you get a side camera view of what's beside you. So if there's cars in your blind spot, you can easily see those. Side cameras are really good on this one. Big 22.5 inch aluminum wheels with Michelin tires. These are heavy duty tires. These are different load ranges. These are load range H, so they're heavier tires because of the heavier gross vehicle weight. A lot of RVs you only get load range G's, and it's like the alphabet: A, B, C, D, E, F, G. These are load range H, so the tires are rated to handle the weight of that the RV could potentially carry, plus your trailer. Now, before we go inside, we're going to talk about the length of the motorhome. This is only a 35-foot, it's a 34-foot floor plan, but it's only 35 feet long. It's less than 35 feet long. So it's a short diesel. That makes it a lot easier to drive. A lot of diesels are 40 feet, 41 feet, 42 feet. Not this one. This is a 34 point something foot long diesel. It's less than 35 feet long total length. So because of the length is only 35 feet or less, it makes it much easier to drive. You know, the little Mercedes RV, they're only 24 to 25 feet long. There's only 10 foot longer than a Mercedes. Yet with 3 big slide outs, you have so much more room, so much more cargo space. And it's not that much more expensive than buying some of these Mercedes, which are ridiculously high priced. So if brand new, one of these, the sticker price for a brand new 2021 is like $315,000 for a similarly equipped Thor Aria. So if you draw a graph from $315,000 sticker price, it's basically a straight line down and it'll curve out. You're in the shallow part of the depreciation curve when you buy it pre-owned. This is a 2018. So before we go inside, we're in a different location. I'm going to extend the awning. It's got 2 awnings. That's one for the front door, and then the main patio awning. I'm going to extend it out. It's dark now, so we have the outside TV on. We're plugged in right now. You don't have to be plugged in to watch the outside TV. It runs on inverter. But the awning is a one touch to extend it. It's going out all by itself after I hit the button. And it positions itself. There's no struts to trip over, so you could park your car or truck right underneath here. I already showed you the TV has a sound bar below. It's dark, you can't see the sound bar. All you can see is a little red LED light on the sound bar. You've got LED lights out here to light up your patio. And one thing I forgot to point out when I opened the hood, it has an air fitting, so you can plug in an air hose. I have an air wrench, but so this is powered by the RV. We plugged in an air hose to it, so you could plug an air hose and check the tire pressures, pump them up. You could even change a tire yourself using air tools if you have the air tools, using the onboard air system to power your equipment. Or if you have to go work on something, you do have compressed air, although the tank is not very big. It has an onboard compressor. So when you want to wind up the awning, the main awning is super easy. As I'm pointing out things, it's got an illuminated grab handle, a second illuminated grab handle, and all of the illuminated entryway, which I can turn on and off. So we're going inside the 3401. Thor Aria, and it's quite amazing inside. You've got a massive main TV over your massive dinette, which turns into an adult-sized bed, which probably can sleep 2 people, no problem. Then you have a second, like a 32-inch TV over the front. You've got power swivel recliners. Both front seats are power operated. In fact, as I come down here, the passenger seat has a power leg rest, so you can make yourself comfortable for the long trips by extending the power leg rest at the touch of a button. It folds away and tucks out of the way, but it's full 6-way power, up in the front, down in the front, up in the back, down in the front. It's recline and swivel. All the controls are on the side here. Same thing for the driver's seat, only the driver's seat doesn't have the leg rest. So as we show you the coach inside, I'm going to remind you it has the dual pane thermal insulated windows, so it's quiet inside. It also doesn't lose cooling or heating efficiency through the glass. The front seats are lounge recliners. We'll show more about that. It has a storage cabinet which is packed full of remote controls for everything. This is a high-end motorhome. It's got all kinds of stuff. I kind of think if you have to spend too much for an RV, you might as well spend too much and get one like this and knock yourself out, because it's a pretty good deal considering brand new is $315,000. It's not even going to be close to that to buy this one. Anyways, as we're going back through, I'm going a quick tour. We have the bathroom here, porcelain toilet, Korean or granite style countertops throughout. All of the cabinetry is bigger and deeper than what you're used to, and this RV comes with some stuff I'm including in here. There's a floor mop, brand new in the package. This has the roller shade, so you have blackout curtains if you like to sleep in, and they're slow rise. Most of the windows have a day shade or a night shade with a slow rise roller curtains. Full residential refrigerator with a built-in ice maker, automatic ice maker. It's a high capacity refrigerator. It runs off the inverter. This model comes with a hot point induction cooktop. Induction cooktop is a state-of-the-art magnetic cooking technology, and because it uses special pans with metal, I'm including brand new cookware. This is a brand new cookware. What's the difference is this actually has a metal on the bottom. It's an aluminum pan, but it has a ferrous metal on the bottom, and it heats up really fast. When you're cooking, the cooktop's not what gets hot. It actually heats the pan. Now, I wouldn't touch it after you've been cooking, but it heats up the pan itself to cook the food, which is highly efficient. And then you have a convection oven up above. It cooks like an oven or like a microwave, or both. It's a very high-end. These are not cheap. They're really nice. They have definite advantages over the old-fashioned propane light the flame. So on this motorhome, you don't use the propane for anything in the refrigerator. The propane is only for the heating of the coach. As we go back to the back of the RV, we have a washer and dryer built in. These are dual unit, so you can do your laundry on your RV trips. Before you head out driving, throw your laundry in there and turn on the washer, and then when you do a pit stop, move it to the dryer, so by the time you get to your destination you got clean clothes. Or you can do it while you're camped if you want. And we have a king size bed here which is really cool because it has a power recline. So if you just want to sit back and watch the bedroom TV, nice big 32-inch TV in the bedroom, you can sit back and put your head up. It gives you a lot more floor space. You're not going to find other RVs that have this much floor space in the bedroom. So you got all this room in the bedroom where you can move around if you want to invite guests or whatever, or just whatever you want to do. You got all this space in the bedroom, but when it's time to sleep, you got a power control. You just hit the switch. It goes down flat like a regular bed, so you can sleep normally back here. It's very, very nice. Now that I put it flat on the side of the bed, you've got little USB charging points, so you can plug in your phone or your iPad or some other type of device and charge it up. You got the slow rise blackout curtains, and then you got the shaded curtains. So if you have a view of something nice outside, you can take a peek. They can't see in if you use a shaded curtain, and in the daytime nobody can see in either way. But if you like to sleep in, again, close the blackout curtains. The older motorhomes used to have pleated shades. The problem with those is a lot of light still bleeds through, so if you want to sleep in, you've got all this light coming in, it makes it harder. Now you've got bedroom speakers. I have music playing. I'm going to talk about the stereo in a minute, but if I put the camera next to it, you've got speakers right there in the bedroom. We're playing some Lady Gaga right now. The USB port charging on the other side. Of course, there's 110 volt outlets all around. There's huge deep storage all over the place. Storage in the bedroom behind the TV, and it's got HDMI system with HDMI switching, so you can watch different shows on different TVs. You can hook up satellite or Amazon Fire Sticks or Google Sticks, whatever you want to do. Blu-ray players, you can watch and feed it to different TVs throughout the coach. Hanging clothes, wardrobe storage, nice big one over here. Maybe that's a his, maybe that's a hers. In the back, you've got a second wardrobe storage over here for hanging clothes. This is your data sheet with all the specifications. If you ever have to order parts for the motorhome, that's right there. Additional cubbies by your bed here where you can put stuff. And a wooden privacy door. Just push down, and it releases the lock that lets you close the door, and you have full privacy in the bedroom. Not a flimsy curtain there. And this has a high-end air conditioning system with heat pump. It's also got the high-end lighting control system. So you got these little wall-mounted remote control devices, so you can remote control your lights. Speaking of lights, while we're in the bedroom, you've got little aisle lights scattered around so that you can see around at night with just aisle lights, so you don't trip over, stub your toe on things. Under the cabinet, you've got LED lighting. Now this big cushion comes with the RV. This nice wide cushion goes in the middle of your dinette here. This has something called a table vader. So I'm going to keep it simple, but if we take these cushions off and we release these two little levers underneath, this is a double wide table vader. Most of them only have a single support, but this is a double support because it's a much bigger table with cup holders, and then you just push it down like an elevator. It'll go down into a little notch there, and you put the cushion on top, and it's a nice flat bed, so a full tall adult can sleep here. When you're ready to put the bed away, it flips up. While we're talking about the beds, we had mentioned the let's move the little map light out of the way here. We have a power Euro loft here. You just hit the button, lower your bed down, and you can sleep 2 additional guests here. It's nice and secure. There's a ladder stowed underneath here. See your ladder right there? I can lift up, and you can set up a ladder right here so your guest, whether it's your kids, grandkids, whoever, can sleep up on top over here. And you got a nice big TV in the sleeping area. Nice big TV over there. So how many could we sleep? We could sleep probably 2, probably 4, probably 6 people. There is enough room in the floor space to put a inflatable bed. But then again, these recliners here. So with the slides open, there's a little handle. You can recline. Put the bed, extend this out. Probably somebody wouldn't mind sleeping here if you really want to get crowded. So theoretically you could sleep up to 9 people if you want to push your luck. 1 on each recliner sofa. Now those are not going to be as comfortable, but you know, hey, some teenagers won't mind. Hey, oh, it's good. You never know, but you have to ask. So there is this capability. This is a very fast moving bunk lift. We're going to put it up out of the way. You just hit the switch, make sure everything's clear. Nothing on top like a pillow or something like that. And it lifts right up real fast out of the way. Seems to work really well. Now, when we come to the driver's seat, we've got a really cool backup camera with side view cameras. So if we turn the key on and we turn on the turn signal, we get side view camera left, or if we turn the right turn signal on, we get the turn signal side view camera right. And then when normal condition, we're getting the backup camera. Now we're playing some Lady Gaga in the background very softly. We're going to turn that down. Now this is a brand new stereo. We had a problem with the stereo that it came with, so we put a brand new JVC stereo with Apple CarPlay. So like I said, we're playing Lady Gaga, and there's a navigation destination in here. We punched in a destination of the Queen Mary in Long Beach. So it has Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. So if you have your smartphone and you punch in a destination on your navigation, it appears on the screen. So for example, I'm saying take me to the Queen Mary, hit go, and it appears the directions on the screen. So you can leave your phone put away and you see right here on the screen your navigation.
Starting route to the Queen Mary. Head east on Willowbrook Road, then turn left onto Fairford Street.
And then the sound for the directions comes through the stereo speaker. So if you are listening to music, so if we found a song that we wanted to listen to, you know, we go in the music and then we play a song. You can turn up your sound. It's a pretty impressive sound system. Let's go max volume in. Now YouTube says this song is copyrighted, so you can't hear the whole song uninterrupted through my system, unfortunately, so I have to talk over the music and interrupt it a little bit. If you're hard of hearing, this is the sound system for you, because you can turn the volume way up. Now this also has a really cool feature. So if you're listening like to radio or something like that, you can turn the volume up pretending it's a knob by spinning it around. And so this has additional speakers in the front and in the bedroom. Now there's additional sound, but let's talk about the dash controls first. So we've got the nightshade to lower or raise the nightshade, which is your blackout curtain. This is really cool. So when you're driving into the sunrise or the sunset, you can lower the curtain to protect your view, and you've got the sunshade, which you can see through, but I don't recommend driving with the sunshade all the way down. You might miss something. But at night you can close the nightshade all the way for total privacy. The key has to be off for that to operate. In case you're going to use this video for reference for using the vehicle systems, just close the shade all the way down, and then nobody can peek in. So as we turn on our headlight control, we've got our odometer showing 7,364 miles. Now I bought this RV in Florida with 4,000 miles on it approximately, and then I drove the mileage from Florida to California. When you start the engine, it's a diesel. Okay, this has the big high output diesel in it. It has a pre-trip checklist, so you can make sure you've got everything taken care of before you drive off. And this little control over here, you can just go check, go down and check tow vehicle is okay, tire pressure is okay, engine maintenance is in order, antennas are down, disconnected power, disconnected water, disconnected sewer, all your cargo doors are closed, your shower door is secure, your roof vents are secure, your awning is in order, is closed, nothing sitting on the countertop that's going to fly around when you drive, lock your doors, drawers are secured, appliances secured, slide in secured, windows are secured, and or if you don't want to go through all that, you just push it left and it clears that out. And then we've got our different menus. This has been indicating a bit over 8 miles per gallon, and the top speed is in excess of 80 miles an hour. But if you want to use cruise control, the maximum you can set it for is about 75 miles an hour. 74 miles an hour actually is the maximum that you're allowed to set the cruise control. Now the diesel engine uses DEF, so there is a DEF gauge. You've got 1, 2, 3 green lights of indicating you're pretty much almost full on the DEF. You don't want to let that run out. That you can buy at diesel fuel truck stops and stuff like that. This has Bluetooth hands-free, so you've got a little microphone, so if somebody calls you when you're driving, they can hear you on the little microphone and you can hear them through the stereo speakers. USB charging point like you have in the bedroom, so you can plug in your USB powered devices. A dash cam or something can plug in right here. You've got another one right here, as well as the old school 12-volt cigarette port. You can start your generator as an onboard generator. Now to start the generator, this diesel generator, you just push and hold it until it starts, and it may take more than 10 seconds. It's priming the fuel, making sure all the system checks are good, and then when everything is okay, you will start the generator. The generator will come on and then it'll go online. So you can start the generator or stop it right here from the driver's seat. So nightshade, sunshade, generator, start and stop. You've got your headlight controls, your dash light brighter or dimmer control, your fog lights right here to turn on or off the fog lights. Now over here we have different lights. Your cab lights, that turns on and off the lights over the driver's area. The service light, there's a little light outside that just turns on or off. The docking light, now there's 2 big white lights outside next to the backup camera. That's your docking light. This switch turns those on or off. Your air horn, you can select if you want regular horn or air horn. Auxiliary start is like a jump start switch. ICC flasher, that's like if somebody wants to come around you, a semi truck, you can click this and it'll blink your running lights to let them know that you're saying go ahead, you can pull in front of me now. Your dash fans, the defrost fans right here, that's low or high. You have mirror heaters that you can turn on or off for heated mirrors. Power mirror controls, your windshield wipers, and you have exhaust brake switch, which this actually works with a transmission. So when you're coming down a hill, you can turn this on and the transmission will help you slow down so you don't build up a lot of speed coming down the hills. You have a push button shifter over here, and then you have your electronic leveling jacks. So this diesel motorhome has a kneeling feature. So right here is the lower or auto for the suspension air. This actually has an air ride suspension, so there's giant airbags that the RV sits on to give you a soft, cushy ride. And when you want to lower the leveling jacks, the first thing you're going to do is let the air out of the airbag system. That's going to kneel the RV down to its lowest position, just sitting on the suspension, unsprung, so it's not as high off the ground. So then when you turn on your leveling jacks, you can do manual or you can do auto. Auto will do it automatically, but manual does it semi-auto. Semi-auto, for example, if you wanted only to raise the left side, you push it until it's level and it'll stop left to right, or same for the right. It'll stop at level left to right or front to rear. So you can do semi-auto or you can do full auto. Then you lower the jacks. They're going down. Because you've kneeled the suspension down, it doesn't have to lift as high off the ground. If you've ever been to an RV campground and you've seen some RVs lift the tires off the ground, that's not diesels, that's gas rigs, and they have to lift the jacks much farther to get it up. Then we can raise the rear off. And the green light is flashing. See, I did that manually and the green light's flashing saying it's happy, it's level. But because you kneeled it first, you don't have to lift it as high, so it's not sticking up in the air like some RVs. Now it looks like a lot of switches, but if you forget what they're all for, just play the video back. I'm gonna leave the video up on YouTube so you can watch it and remember how to work everything. So with the headlights on, the radio can go into night mode, which is pretty cool, or day mode. You've got a dash air conditioning unit, which blows out ice cold air or hot defrosting air in the wintertime, depending what you prefer. So we're going to take you for a little test drive, show you how
Proceed to the route.
easy this RV is to drive.
Turn
Going
right.
around the corner.
In a quarter
I'm
mile,
watching
turn
my
left onto Steve Street.
Curb clearance in the mirror. This high performance engine is good, and we have the shades down a little bit so that the sun isn't in our eyes. We could put the shades up higher, but right now we're just driving on a residential street here.
At the stop sign, turn left onto Steve Street.
We have the navigation going right now. The Apple CarPlay is trying to take us to the Queen Mary. So we're driving into the setting sun. I'm enjoying my window shades so that I don't even see the sun from the driver's seat. Of course, you can adjust the driver's seat up and down. I have my side view cameras, so as I turn on my left turn signal, I can see right down the left side. It'll be easier to see down the left side when I go around the corner here because of the glare on the camera lens. I can watch my mirrors, see that I'm clear of the curb, and then nice view out the side view camera. Or we can make a right turn and see out the right side view. Clearing traffic. And then we're going to go down a little cul-de-sac, do a backup demonstration. See how easy it is to back up. This has a 360 horsepower engine, so it's the stronger, more powerful engine. It's got like 1,000 feet of torque. It's very, I think actually 800 pound-feet of torque. It's a very strong motor. So if you have to tow a trailer, you can tow a nice big heavy trailer and it'll pull it like nothing with that powerful engine. So we're gonna try to back down this cul-de-sac here, put it in reverse. We have the backup camera going. I'm watching my backup camera and my side mirrors. I'm gonna back all the way down the cul-de-sac around the vehicle, which is parked at the curb. I can see it in my side mirrors and on my backup camera. So we're driving backwards. You know, the truck drivers can drive semi-trucks with these huge trailers. It's far easier to maneuver this motorhome. You know, these are easy to drive because you can see right down the side of the RV. That's good. Go back into drive. That's our backup view, but if I turn on my turn signals, I'm gonna see that car as we come around it. We've talked about the seats. The dinette is big. This is a giant, like a 50-inch TV over the dinette. I'm gonna check, but the TV also has its own sound bar. So you get 2 sound bars in addition to the stereo. So this has the power, so you can turn that on and broadcast the sound from the TV through the sound bar. High fidelity sound, and it has additional features. You got TV, HDMI. I believe you can stream Bluetooth to it. So when you're watching TV, the TV has its own speakers, but you can really enjoy the sound bar and blast your movies throughout the coach. Turn that back off. This is a nice feature, this sound bar. It makes it a lot easier to hear the TV when you're driving down the road and stuff like that. In the kitchen, stainless steel sink. Let's turn on the water pump. There's 2 places. You can turn it on from the master control, or we can turn it on right here from the bathroom. That's the light, that's a water pump. So with the water pump on, we've got a dual mode faucet. So this pulls out and you can rinse off your pots and pans. Hot and cold water. There are sink covers. They're stowed underneath the cabinet here. They have a nice place there put away. So if you do want to cover the sinks with the sink covers and you have additional counter space, you can have that. I'm including this Keurig coffee maker. It's one of the newer model Keurigs, perfect for travel. You can stow it in the drawer when you're not using it, but then you can have coffee with you. So that's included with the RV. Let's talk about the master control here, because this is going to take a little bit of explaining. You got these little buttons on the side. Start with home. Shows the fresh water tank, gray, black, and propane, how much you have. You have 2 water heaters, electric water heat or gas water heat. So, and your water pump. So if you're going to use hot water, you want to turn on your water pump, make sure that's on, and then you can turn on your 2 water heaters. It's a big 10-gallon water heater, so it could take nice long hot showers. You can store 100 gallons of fresh water on board, plus the 10 gallons in the water heater. And the home page, it's showing what our DC voltage is on our batteries, and that's house and chassis. On the AC, which is your shore power line, how much power is coming in. The battery charger is in what mode it's in. It has multi-mode, so it doesn't boil over the batteries like the old designs. And your inverter, if it's on or off. Right now it's passing through from the generator. This has automatic generator starting. So if you turn on automatic generator start system, then if the batteries get too low, it'll start the generator all by itself. And right now the power source is generator because it's running. So that's the home page. If we go to AC, it tells us all the details about our power line. What's the source power? So if I want to take the generator, I just stop the generator. So we have line 1 and line 2. Right now I'm using an adapter plugged into 30 amp shore power. I'm not plugged into 50 amp, but still the RV will operate normally. So 30 amp shore power. The inverter is enabled, so if I disconnect shore power, all my outlets will still work. The automatic generator start system is disabled, but you can enable that. Now pay attention to this one. This is your engine block heater. So let's say you go, it's winter time and you're camping and it's going to get below freezing, down to 17 degrees or something like that, and you want your engine nice, warm and toasty so that it doesn't freeze and it's easy to start the next day. You can turn on your block heater right here, and this has a load shedding system, so when you call for too much power, instead of tripping circuit breakers, it will shed different loads so that it can take turns to use the systems that you need. So that's the AC. And then the DC, which is just the battery, again, just only showing what the batteries are doing, what the battery charger is doing, the inverter. And then we can go to the slide menu. Now there's 3 slide-ins. Slide 1, the bedroom slide, and this giant full wall slide on the passenger side. Now because of the bed lift, the bed has to be in the up position in order to put this bedroom slide. So you have to manually put the bed up. See, it's actually doing it automatically right now because we hit the button. It's raising the bed out of the way, but otherwise if it's in a different position, you can manually do it. Hit the switch, it put the bed up so the bed is out of the way, and once that's satisfied, it'll unlock the retract and you'll be able to bring that slide in. So that's your slide controls. See, the arrow just appeared, and now we can hit that and bring in the bedroom slide as well as the other slides. The only one that locks is the bedroom. The next button down is your climate control. You have dual high performance air conditioning units, and they both have heat pumps, and the front has control of the furnace. So you've actually got 4 heaters and 3 air conditioners on this coach. So you've got floor heating through ducts, ducted floor heating, and then you've got roof mounted heating, which runs like the air conditioner in reverse. That's called heat pump. So in the modes, auto, cool, heat pump, furnace, or off on the front, and on the rear, auto, cool, heat pump, or off. So these different, you can run 2 air conditionings at the same time. You can run 2 heat pumps at the same time. I mean, if it's really cold, you can run both, and you can set the temperature, what it's going to go to, and it'll automatically maintain that temperature. It's very, very nice, easy to use system. There's a lot of control here, but it gives you a lot of control, but it's easy to use. On the right side, we have the lighting controls. So I can turn all the master light switch off. It turns almost all the lights in the coach off, except for those 3 are on a switch underneath. But we can turn on the master lights on. There's also a master light control right by the entry. So when you first come up to the coach, you can hit the switch and turn on the master light switch. Or there's the main light, which is a additional master on, master off, rear control for lighting, in vents. Now you've got these premium power roof vents, like this one in the bathroom and this one over the kitchen. so you don't have to strain yourself to reach the ceiling. You can go kitchen, power, hit up, and it opens automatically and turns the fan on. These are really nice setup. There is a speed control. You can do off, 1, 2, or 3. So for example, if you're cooking in here and you have some fumes, you can go over here and open the fan. Or if you got a little kid in there making stinky in the bathroom, you can turn on that one and open that vent from here. Or of course the bathroom fan, you can control it from the control remote right here, and the kitchen fan you can control it from right here as well. So there's different places where you can control the individual systems. In the bedroom you have the controls for the lighting right here. There's an additional control right here next to your theater seats. Right here. And then the one by the entry door, which also controls the awning lights and things like that. And if you want to get technical, you can go into the settings, look up the serial numbers, and do the screen brightness and stuff like that. It also shows you the temperature metric or standard. You can program the time. But that about covers pretty much everything. It's a really nice setup. It seems to work really, really well. So just to recap on this cooktop, it will not work with some types of cookware. That's why I included the right type. It has a metal thing on the back, so you turn it on and actually the pan itself gets hot. It uses a magnetic technology called induction magnetic cooking, and it's pretty nice. Behind the cook area, you know, in case you're making a mess, there's a genuine glass backsplash that's easy to clean. This is real tile glass backsplash. In the restroom, I mentioned we have a porcelain toilet. We had additional glass backsplash right here. On this coach, if you use inverter, it doesn't have a ground, so in the bathroom, because of the water, they turn off the GFI automatically, so you'll have to reset that. It has a little red light to warn you when it has to be reset for that outlet to work. So that's some type of regulation that they had to do that. You got a shower massage type shower head right here with a residential style faucet. And you got little storage compartments in here. This is a glass shower enclosure, so you can release the shower, close it off, and then you need to latch the doors before you travel so that they're not sliding every time you turn the corner back and forth. So you want the shower doors secured. And there's all these area lights around your frameless windows. So if you're cooking and you want some fresh air for the exhaust fan to exhaust it out, you can just twist and then break the seal and they open up, and then you've got this fresh airflow coming right in through the window. So you got ventilation in the kitchen. Now this is a Whirlpool convection microwave, so you'll have to watch the Whirlpool videos about how to use all the controls, but there is a book, an owner's book in here. I think it's right here. All your owner's manuals and stuff are in this nice folder, so you can read up on it or just watch YouTube and see how to work. When you're ready to travel, this little black lever, you can lock your refrigerator doors. You know, if there's a couple gallons of milk and orange juice and things on the door, they're heavy. You start driving around corners, there's a lot of inertia in there. So this locks the doors so they'll stay closed when you're traveling. They're not going to come swinging open. It's a safety latch to keep your food in the fridge when you're driving. As I was coming in from Florida, I was test driving this with my wife and 2 kids. It did really well. The washer and dryer, we used the heck out of it to make sure it works. There is a little filter in the dryer on the right here. You just grab this and you pull it out, and then you got to clean the lint trap out. when you're using the dryer. And then you can just put pods in the washer. It works perfectly well. To use the laundry equipment, that needs to run on generator, use quite a bit of power. So you would run the generator to use the laundry equipment, or use it when you're plugged in. And of course you can open this and put your soaps and detergents in there. It's secured, so it can be used when you're driving or stopped. Very nice setup. There's another switch right here for your little desk area lighting. Maybe you lay out your clothes after you do your laundry and so forth. Now the storage is big in this one. It's nice, deep. You can bring a lot of clothes with you. They all open up nice and big. And then there's a pantry area right here. Really well made wooden pantry, so you can goods, chips and stuff like that. It's very secure. There's a second one above it. This is basically like brand new. This was not a repo. This came from a dealer. We bought it from an RV dealer. That this was not stock that they normally carry. Maybe it was a trade-in or something, a trade up or trade down. So they traded it to us. And we brought it in from Florida to California. So it's a very nice setup. I'm going to show you real quick. In a theater setting, there's all kinds of remotes in here to control all the sound bars and the TVs and the video players and things like that. There's an additional video player up over the driver's seat here. There's a Blu-ray player right there. And another HDMI matrix switch. There's satellite ready connections right here. So if you have a satellite box, you can put it in the compartment. Additional compartments, so much storage in here. It's a nice setup. Before we conclude, we're going to look at the labels right here. The labels. Now this RV comes with a 3000 Allison transmission 3000. There's instructions, quick reference right here, and the gross vehicle weight rating chart. So this is on the XCR Freightliner chassis. It has the Cummins engine, 6.7, 360 horsepower, 2400 RPM, and the Allison 3000 automatic. The gross vehicle weight rating is 32,400 pounds. Now, if you look at diesel motorhomes, a lot of them are not that heavy duty. They'll have a much lighter gross vehicle weight ratings. This one has the heavier duty chassis, and it can tow a 10,000 pound trailer over and above the loaded vehicle weight. One more thing we got to show you on the inside is you have the genuine porcelain tile flooring. A lot of RVs, they just have vinyl rolls for the flooring, but this is actual grouted porcelain tile flooring. So it can handle high traffic. If you use this RV a lot, it's not going to wear out, being that it's porcelain tile. It's very tough, durable stuff. Only the most premium RVs get the grouted tile. And the TVs, by the way, I forgot to mention, they're watching right now free over-the-air broadcast. We have two different shows. That's channel 4, that's channel 5. It's coming in. We're getting our weather report right now, so you could watch the two games at the same time while you're camping. Now we're gonna peek underneath the chassis, but I want to point out, when you buy fuel, you have fuel points on either side of the vehicle, so it doesn't matter what side the gas filler is. You can go to the trucks aisle and fill it both at the same time for a super quick pit stop if you need to buy fuel. Diesel fuel left and right. I'm going to hold the camera underneath the chassis so you can see underneath, see how nice it is. Let's go have a look. Going underneath, that's the bottom of the generator exhaust, front tire treads. I mean, this had 4,000 miles on it, so everything's like brand new underneath. Your propane tank, super heavy duty storage compartments, your rear tire treads, nice and thick. They all have steering treads, so you can steer Very stable. Big anti-sway bars too. Look at the tire tread, nice and thick. Won't have to buy tires for a long time. Hey, there's your air suspension. See those air suspension? That's the transmission and the engine looking at it from underneath. A rock shield, so if you tow a vehicle behind, it keeps rocks from flying up and damaging the paint on the vehicles behind you. Now looking on the opposite side, we have transmission and engine underneath. No leaks, no drips. Your air suspension, that's a good look at the airbag suspension. Full air ride suspension. And then with kneeling capability and your tire tread. No physical damage underneath. That's your storage support framework, and it's all in good order. You have a very tight cut steering radius. It can turn really sharp on this Freightliner XCR chassis. That's a air conditioning vent, and here we are. So now we're going up to look on the roof, and starting with a big solar panel, rear air conditioner, nice big PV solar panel to keep your batteries charged up at all times. Weatherproof vent covers to keep rain out of your vents. Digital TV antenna, and the front low profile air conditioning. These are nice air conditionings with heat pump capability. All the roof is in great condition, and we have awnings over all the slide outs to keep rain, dirt, debris off, so you don't have to come up with a broom. So by keeping the awnings over the slide outs, when squirrels are over in the trees above and throwing acorns at you, they just roll right off the side. Or if you're in a snow blizzard, the awnings act like conveyor belts and just throw the snow off to the side when you put the slides in. Nothing to worry about. So thank you for watching my video about the Thor Aria 3401. 360 horsepower on the Freightliner chassis. Diesel pusher. Now, see if this is still available by going to my website, mybestcar.com. And if it is, and you want to write a check for it, the company name you're going to pay to the order of a buyer's choice. Now, my name is Mike Johnson. If it is available and you have questions, give me a call. 951-681-2101. Thank you for watching.